do you remember of a wedding ceremony that you had been invited to recently? How did you feel on that invitation? I guess you felt happy that you are invited. You felt appreciated. And in fact, you felt to be part of this wedding. And I believe you would love everything to go well in this wedding. You would not like anything to go wrong. I think your expectations, your desires were for this wedding to go down in history as a successful wedding. This is what happens when we invite God into our day-to-day life. Before you take a serious undertaking, if you invite God, God will feel appreciated and He can be able to do everything, literally, to ensure that your undertaking becomes a success. In this journey called life, invite God from the very beginning, and you can be certain that your life will be a success. There is no other better place to learn of how an invitation can make a big difference than in John chapter 2. In the book of John chapter 2, something so interesting happens. A historical event takes place. There was a wedding. This wedding took place in a small village called Cana. Jesus and his disciples were invited into this wedding. But something so disappointing happens. Wine runs out. Please note, in a celebration where the Jews were involved, wine was very important. And shortage of wine in this wedding meant one thing. There was to be too much humiliation for the groom and the bride in this wedding. Unprecedented shame was almost taking place in this wedding. Disappointment, failure, and misery. People could have spoken ill of these two people in this wedding, and they could have wondered, why is it that they got into a wedding when they were not well prepared for it? Even in our day-to-day life, if you had a wedding ceremony and food ran out, how could that wedding ceremony be? I think afterwards, you could regret and ask yourself, why in the first place did you plan and have that wedding? Because instead of the joy that should come with a wedding ceremony, yours could come with sadness, shame, humiliation, disappointment, and a feeling of total failure. I think this could even tamper with your marriage, which was starting. It could have been the same case in this wedding, if only Jesus was not invited. I would like us all to note this word. Jesus was invited. Invitation. This wedding at Cana clearly shows that it was not a wedding of a bride and a groom who are wealthy. Because if they were wealthy, they could have had enough wine. But wine ran out. And most probably, even food could have run out as well. But now, by the fact that Jesus was invited in this wedding, he changed water into wine. The first miracle recorded in the book of John. There are 8 other miracles in this book of John, but I wonder, why did John choose this to be the first miracle? It is worth to note that in this wedding, the invitation of Jesus changed everything completely. This wedding could have been a total failure, but note, this wedding today has been recorded in history like one of the most successful weddings performed anywhere. This wedding could have been a point of humiliation for the bride and the bridegroom, but the complete opposite happened. This wedding could have been a complete disappointment, but the complete opposite happened. This wedding could have been forgotten long time ago, but today we talk about this wedding as if it happened yesterday. Even a young child in the lower grades can narrate this wedding to you and to me as if this child was in that wedding. But not, this wedding took place more than 2,000 years ago. It is still popular and famous, celebrated, remembered. Preachers are preaching about it everywhere. I hope that we can see what the invitation of Jesus changed in this wedding. A wedding which could have been forgotten a long time ago, we remember it to date. And even those who are going to come after us will continue to remember the same. A wedding which could have been total shame, total failure, total disappointment, total humiliation, and all manner of negative expressions and memories of it, changed to be the complete opposite. Changed to be the complete opposite. This is what happens when we invite God in our lives. It is important to remember that God never loses. He always wins. And therefore, when you invite God in whatever you are intending to do, you are going to win, because God never loses. And now God is with you. So winning will be your share. God never gets ashamed. He can't accept that to happen. And therefore, if you invite God in whatever you are doing, shame won't be your share. In your wedding, remember to invite God in that wedding. We are talking about a wedding, but a wedding here could mean in your academic life as a student, in your business life as a business person, in your marriage as a couple, in your parenting as a parent, in your career, in your profession, in all your important undertakings in life. Ensure that you take time to invite God to be with you. This invitation that you will invite God, the Holy Spirit, to accompany you and to be with you in every move that you make, in every step that you take, will ensure success for you. It will ensure victory for you. It will ensure you don't get ashamed. Life is a journey. And therefore, in this journey called life, we are better off when we invite God to journey with us. If you have a small child who has not yet known how to pray and to invite the presence of God in his or her life, as a parent, as a guardian, you have a paramount responsibility to invite God into the life of this child on behalf of the child. And equally, in our day-to-day lives, let us always remember to invite God to be with us. Even in the national settings, before you go for that voting, before you undertake that community activity, invite God to be with you. This invitation by itself can change everything to the complete opposite and to your advantage. Inviting Jesus into the wedding at Cana changed everything, and something which could have turned out to be a total failure turned out to be a total success. Let us take a lesson from this wedding at Cana. Let us not just read John chapter 2 and just talk about it without implementing it in our own lives. This miracle is in John chapter 2 so that we may take lessons from it and we may take the advantage of always inviting God in all our serious undertakings, including our lives, so that what happened in Cana in that specific wedding may also happen in our day-to-day lives. Learn to invite God to be in your life. Thank you.